In 1988, social services in California sought refuge for a man named Alvaro Montoya, who was plagued by schizophrenia and other disabilities. Rejected by most care homes, Montoya finally found a place with Dorothea Puente, an elderly woman who managed a small care home for the elderly and homeless in Sacramento. Puente appeared as a kind and compassionate caretaker, and she readily agreed to take Montoya in. Weeks passed, and a social worker attempting to check on Montoya was met with bizarre explanations from Puente. She claimed that Montoya had traveled to Mexico to visit friends, which the social worker knew was unlikely given Montoya's lack of friends and his inability to travel alone. Sensing foul play, the social worker contacted the police. When the authorities visited Puente's residence on F Street in Sacramento, she reiterated her story. He left for Mexico. Another resident backed up her claim, but shortly afterwards covertly slipped a note to a detective, saying, "She made me lie." Growing suspicious, an officer noticed freshly dug soil in the backyard. The police decided to leave temporarily, planning to return with a search warrant. When they returned to dig, Puente surprisingly remained calm. She even provided tools and offered assistance. Before long, they unearthed decomposed human remains. Initially, the idea that the benign-looking grandmother could be a murderer seemed absurd. However, as they continued their excavation, dread turned into terrifying certainty. They stumbled upon more buried bodies. Puente requested to visit a nearby cafe to gather her nerves over a cup of coffee, and shockingly, the officers consented. She left her home and vanished. With 7 more bodies unearthed, including Montoya's own, Puente became the prime suspect, escaping to Los Angeles. Her photograph was circulated through newspapers and television stations. Days later, a bar patron recognized her and reported it to the police, leading to her swift arrest. Background revelations painted a grim picture of her life. Born Dorothea Helen Gray in 1929, her childhood was marked by instability, with parental death leading her to an abusive orphanage. She was briefly married at 16, but it ended with her husband's untimely death. A series of failed marriages and legal troubles soon followed, establishing her reputation as a con artist. Investigations revealed that Puente's care home was far from charitable. It was a grim operation targeting lonely individuals without families. Once under her care, she sedated them using a strong prescription drug before killing them and continuing to collect their benefits. Though officially connected to 9 deaths, she was initially indicted for 15 murders. Despite her facade of a gentle 75-year-old, Puente was only 59, using dyed hair and oversized glasses to enhance her aged appearance. In 1993, Puente was convicted of 3 murders due to lack of conclusive evidence and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. She passed away in her cell in 2011 at the age of 82, never confessing to the full extent of her actions. The lingering mystery of her story serves as a chilling reminder. Sometimes malevolence masquerades as kindness, lurking behind a composed smile and the guise of advanced years.